Hi everyone, this is Jason here from the Nathaniel School of Music. And in this lesson, I want to give you a tip on how to figure out the chords of songs using just your ears and a little bit of technology. So, the workflow we are going to have today is basically um, to play any song out of a standard media player like iTunes or Windows Media Player or any or Winamp or VLC or whatever. You basically need any media player which has an equalizer. So to the best of my knowledge, this may not work well on YouTube because YouTube doesn't have an EQ where you can go in and dial in which frequencies you want to cut or boost. This will work really well for iTunes. In fact, I'm going to show it to you on iTunes. And iTunes, as you know, works on both platforms. So, what we are going to do is we are going to hear the song, use a little bit of equalization. Equalization, for those of you who are not sure, essentially means cutting or boosting certain frequencies in the spectrum. So if your frequency range, a human range is between 20 and 20,000. If you want to enhance the lower frequencies, you'll be stressing or boosting something around the 20 to about 100 or 200 hertz. And another way to do that is to cut all the highs, so then you'll only hear the lows. So instead of boosting the bass, you can just cut the highs, and it sort of has the same impact because equalization at the end of the day is nothing but a volume button for a particular frequency which you choose. So iTunes and other media player applications support that. So that's one thing you can try with equalization. After we EQ the song to our taste, so that we can hear what we want to hear, we can then extrapolate the bass line from the song, what we are hearing. And that bass line is going to be really, really catchy and really, I would say really, really catchy for your ear because you're going to be cutting off some of the frequencies which the vocalist and the guitar player and other musicians are in, which may confuse your judgment. So, after having figured out the bass line, you can then use music theory and or rather diatonic chord theory and then find the chord based on the root note you just heard on the bass or based on what you wrote, probably in a notebook or something. So I'm going to demonstrate this with any old pop song. I'll probably take a Maroon 5 song or something. Doesn't really matter which song you take. It's preferably good to start off with a song with just one scale so you don't tax your theory mind too much. So in this lesson, there's a little bit of technology, but we're doing all this so that our ears can hear in a more focused way, and we can then use our theory knowledge to sort of get cracking. So the idea is very simple. When you hear a song, the first primary focus would be the scale of the song, right? Once you got the scale of the song, so let's say the scale of the song is G major, right? If I just write that down, G major, as we all know, has one sharp. So what one can do is identify the chords of this scale, at least the majors and minors for now. We can look at the seventh chords or the chord extensions maybe in a later series. But the basic major and minor chords, major, minor, will essentially be the 1, the 4, and the 5. This is going to be your major. These are going to be your minor. So major chords are going to be 1, 4, and 5. The minor chords are going to be 2, 3, and 6. And this is any scale you play on, whether it's G major or A flat major or E flat major, doesn't really matter. So on the G scale, G is the 1, C is the 4, and D is the 5. So on a piano, you can obviously do this on any instrument. And coming to your minors, the 2 would be A minor, the 3 would be B minor, and the 6 is right here, E minor. And then you have the miscellaneous one, the 7th, which is going to be a diminished chord, which I'm going to try with this symbol. Hope you like it. And then that's your 7, and that 7 is going to be F sharp diminished. Rarely used in pop songs, but it could be there. You never know. So it's important to brush up on your chord theory if you don't know it already. Try to get used to that. And of course, you can ask me if you have any questions, and we can probably do another video on chord theory if you wish. So what's going to happen is, when you hear the song and when you focus on the bass line, whatever that bass line may be, the bass is going to play single notes, right? Most bass instruments will play single notes. As you can just hear, the chord doesn't sound really nice on the lower registers of the piano, right? It sounds very muddy and cluttered because the frequencies are very close to each other and they are clashing. So inevitably you're going to hear like a single note, like a B flat, which is what I played now, or a G. So if your ear is able to plot out that that particular note played by the bass instrument is in fact a G, you can take it to the scale, which in this case is G major, and that particular chord is, you guessed it, is going to be G major. So it's a sort of roundabout way initially, as you may seem, but it's something I use all the time. And I also play the bass guitar apart from pianos. I always use the bass guitar to figure out the chords of a song. It's so much more easier and so much more organic, I feel. And then I take it to the piano. So what we'll do now is we'll take a song, and I'm first going to show you how I'm using two pieces of technology. The first thing is basically iTunes, which we all know and have, I'm guessing. And the other thing is an app which you can use basically for pitch and to hear and to see what note it was which you heard. And that's called INS Tuner. So INS Tuner is an app, and iTunes is your, standard media player app. And if you don't have, both these are obviously free. If you are not able to get INS Tuner, you could find any other relevant tuning application for your operating system. But don't go around spending too much money on this, because you don't need to, really. It's not about, you don't need to spend anything. So let's just get started. I'm going to go over to the computer now and play you a song. Let's just listen to it once as it is, just a snippet of it, and then try to do something to it so that we can hear it a little more clearer. Right. So I'm choosing She Will Be Loved. Let's just have a quick listen to it. Somewhere in the middle, perhaps the chorus. Make you feel beautiful. I never ask her if she wants to stay on, and she will be loved, and she will be loved, and she will be loved, and she will. Right. So the first thing, you can probably make a sequence of steps, and I'll also share those steps with you in the comment section. the first thing you should do is just sing the note which is most attractive or most catchy to your ear. Um, that note is probably going to be the root of the scale, or even if it's not the root, it'll probably be the fifth. So you can start off with that, and I'm going to do just that. And if you sort of hum that note into the tuning application, you already got like a note showing up. If you can't sing, maybe you can trial and error it on an instrument like a guitar or a piano, but I would recommend to try to sing it out. And we all have this voice, so you might as well use it. So as I sing it, you'll realize that it's sort of E flat major all the way. Right? So if you're singing that most important note, that is going to be the root. So now my entire song is essentially E flat major. And if you're a piano player or a guitar player or a bass player, if you're good with an app like this, I don't even think you need your instrument with you while you're figuring out the chords. Because if you can hear a note, the note can then translate to the chord later on your instrument. You don't have to play the chord. So what I would do now is I'm just going to show you a little trick which I do on the equalizer. As you can see, this is a band of the frequencies which you will see on the x-axis, and a band, and you will have volume or amplitude on the y-axis. So this frequency 64 Hertz is this loud or this soft as I adjust it here. So what I've done right now is I've exaggerated the bass and I've absolutely killed everything in the higher frequency ranges. That's about 500 Hertz all the way up to the end of my hearing. And what that'll do is it'll sort of reduce the lead vocal part. It'll also focus more on the bass guitar, which I think is the foundation of the harmony in a song and in a band as well, because the bass is always going to play the root note of the chord, right? Unless it's an inversion, which then you'll hear as a very distinct sound. Your ear will definitely hear that. So what I've done here is I've just cut down 32 Hertz as well. I've just focused in on 64, 125. You'll have to play around with this. Sometimes the bass may even hide around the 250 Hertz region. But I've sort of set it like this. And now if I turn the equalizer on and then play the song, you'll hear that it's a lot less brighter than it was. You may not hear the vocals that clearly, but you can hear the bass, which is exactly what we're trying to achieve here. And as I sing those two notes, I can also probably check my app, or if I'm playing an instrument, I could check it out on the instrument. Pum, pum. That's a C and a B flat, which I just sang. Now, if you're a bass player, well, you're going to be actually playing that. But if you're a piano player or a chordal player, or even a bass player trying to play chords, you'll have to then go back to theory, which I'm going to come to in a very short while. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you can hear that chord and you can then decide, okay, it's a C. Via my theory, because I'm in the key of E flat major, C is the sixth note And the sixth note, as we've studied earlier with my example on G major, is a minor chord. So thus the first chord in that song is going to be C minor. Now it sounds a bit advanced, but if you repeat this process a few times, you can literally learn a song as fast as the song is playing out for you. I'm quite confident of that. At least a pop song. Okay? So I'm going to play it, and it looks like the verse is just C and B flat, right? Boom,
It's not always rainbows and butterflies. It's compromise. It moves us along. Yeah.
and I'm trying to get the chord change. I'm not really bothered about all the cool stuff which the bassy is playing. It's not just C, right? There's a lot of other stuff as well. But my target is that root. That tonal center is very important for me.
My heart is full and my door's always open. You're coming
C, B flat, chorus. Pa, pa, B flat, pa, B flat. Ooh, I guess it goes to another verse or the bridge or whatever. So you get the idea. So you should probably have a notebook where you can write all this down. And let me just go back to the board, and I'll show you exactly what I would do next. Okay? So this is not G major, obviously. This is E flat major. That's what the song is on. That's what our app also told us. And E flat major, as you guys hopefully know, has how many sharps? If you've guessed it right, it's 0 sharps and 3 flats, right? Because I just said E flat. So E flat major is this. It's a 3 flat scale. And what I'm hearing in the verse of the song, actually before what I'm hearing is, let's just write down all the available chords, shall we? So you have all the majors, which are 1 E flat, right? 4, which is A flat, and 5, which is B flat. I hope I've got this right. 1, 4, 5. Yes, we are right. And then you have the minor chords, or the sad ones, or the serious ones, or the dark ones, however you call it. You'll have the 2, which is F minor. You'll have the 3, which is G minor. And you have the 6, which is C minor. And then we have the diminished chord, or the scary one, as you can see by this emoticon, D diminished. Right, so now that we know it's on E flat major, these are the major chords, the minor chords, and the diminished. So if you remember when we were hearing the song, what you could call as the verse section was C and B flat, right? This is what the bass player was doing. C is a minor chord. So it's the 6 minor of the E flat major. So it's going to be a minor, C minor. And then a B flat major, which remains major. And then our chorus, which is that I don't mind spending every day going into She Will Be Loved, right? So that was E flat, B flat, C, and A flat. And I think the first time it's sort of B flat going to A flat. But you get the idea. So all of these, E flat, B flat, and A flat, are all your major chords. They will stay major, except the C minor will be converted to minor. So it looks like thus far we don't really have use for the other minor chords, F minor, G minor, and it clearly looks like they've not played the diminished chord yet, at least. So let's just see how this sounds on an instrument like the piano. You could do this on any instrument, a bass, guitar, or banjo, or whatever you play. It obviously has to be a polyphonic instrument for you to generate the notes of the chord. So C minor, da 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 da, da 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 da. Right? It actually sounds quite right if you ask me. C minor, B flat, and then the chorus, E flat, mine spending ever, B flat, C minor, ba 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 bum bum, and she will, E flat, be love, B flat, and she will, C minor, be love, A flat, right? Let's just see how this lines up with the song.
Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will.
Chorus, E flat. And now the verse.
Tap on my window, knock on my door. I want to make you feel beautiful.
That's C minor and B flat. Sounds right.
I know I tend to get so insecure. Doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, cool. So, what I'm also trying to tell you by this lesson is this is not a sure shot way of getting the right chord for the song. You do have to check it once on your instrument, and I highly encourage you to do that as well, because it's definitely going to improve your hearing. It's also going to improve your musicality, because you would understand what these guys are doing to make the music they make. And if you get really good with this method, as I've sort of gotten over the years, you don't really need to Google for chords or YouTube, how to play this song or how to play that song, unless there's a specific part which the guitar player or the piano player is playing. If your job is to just figure out chords of a song, I think you can do that with this method. So let's just recap what we've learned so far. So it started off by us, hearing the song. It's always important to hear the song first. Don't escape hearing the song. You have to listen to it, study each section, plan your work, write the lyrics, sing along. I'm sure you will. And after you do that, use EQ, knock off all the high frequencies. I'm sure there are other more fancier audio geek ways to do this, but this is something which I'm sure any of you could try out. Anyone who has an access to a media player, which is there nowadays on any gadget, can do this method. So you just reduce the frequencies which are high, keep the frequencies or boost them lightly, which are low, and after which find the tonic or the root of the scale, sing it out. Use the app. I've recommended INS Tuner. I'll put a link in the description which you guys could check out. And once you have gotten the notes of each section, the bass notes of each section, you can put it down in a theory environment, which again I'd highly recommend you to do. It's very musical if you do it this way. And it's a sort of a sure shot approach. Once you test it out with this, your ear can then do the next job of figuring out, is it the right chord or the wrong chord? And in this method, even the wrong chord may sound good. You may want to reharmonize the song or switch it around or just have some fun, So that's about this lesson. There'll be a few other ear training and theory lessons coming your way. I do have a few other approaches of hearing and navigating through chord changes a little bit more easier. And if you have any methods which you're using, do share them in the comments as well. And if you have any doubts, if you'd like us to do something in the future, do shout out. Again, this is Jason here from Nathaniel School of Music. I'm the piano and the theory faculty here. And as always, Subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, and tell us what you think. Cheers.